Asians called Qawari' al-Quran. So this was a term that was used to mean those verses of the Quran or surahs that are recited daily. And they're recited to taqra' shayateen, to actually withstand the assaults of the shayateen. So they protect a believer. So in essence, they're verses of protection, and they're really important verses. And one of the things about the Ummah historically is that they were, because so many people were doing these verses on a daily basis, there was a herd immunity for the whole Ummah. They had a herd immunity. But as they fall into ghafla and less people do these on a regular basis, then the immunity of the Ummah lessens and diminishes until you can be invaded, just like viruses come into you or bacteria if you don't have immunity. And so these are really to protect us as individuals. And one of the things that Amir Abdul Qadir al-Jazairi, the great Algerian mujahid, he said in his mawaqif that the inayah of the Ummah is being removed because of the sinfulness of the Ummah. And he said, but the inayah will remain for individuals. So the way that we restore that inayah for the Ummah is by a critical mass of believers that are actually doing what we were told to be doing and staying within the hudud of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because when you have large numbers of Muslims transgressing the hudud, then they get impacted by that transgression. So the Fatiha is it is the single most important for this. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put it at the center of His book. It literally is the entire Quran in 7 verses. So all of the Quran is in the Fatiha. And Muslims traditionally recited it for healing. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah says that he used the Fatiha and Zamzam to be healed of a serious illness that he had when he was in Mecca. It's been used as a ruqya, which is a type of where you actually recite over sick people. There's a famous story of Imam Sahnun was known as Ar-Raqi, and that because traditionally they would recite the Fatiha and then take some spittle and just put it on the sick person that they were treating from the prophetic sunnah. And one of his students, after Imam Sahnun passed away, he would go and they would ask him to do the Fatiha over the sick person. With Sahnun, they used to get well immediately. And in fact, believe it or not, according to some of the fuqaha, it's permissible to take ajr on ruqya, not to stipulate it, but to take ajr if the person gets well immediately, not if they don't. And so they used to get well immediately, and afterwards his student would do the ruqya and they wouldn't get well. And they would ask him, when Sahnun did that, they would get well. He said the Fatiha is the same. I think it's in the spittle. In other words, I'm not of his maqam, so I don't have that kind of power to operationalize the Fatiha in the way that he could do that. But the Fatiha is the Shafiya. It's a healing surah, and we recite it every day. It has many asrar. Sayyidina Ali said that he could fill 70 camels with commentary. 70 camels with commentary. So the secrets of Fatiha do not end. And there are many, many secrets in it. So it begins the book, and Al-Fatiha, which Al-Fatih is a name.